Okay, folks, welcome back. I'm going to situate this over our work area, and we've worked on a little bit of this on this car today. It is a pain in the ass to paint yellow. No, it doesn't cover well. We all know that, so it takes multiple coverages, and so you have to wait on it to dry. So this is the ram that we're putting on this yellow guy, and the turret also. The turret for the gun here at the top. So we haven't done weathering. We haven't done any pin washing either. But what's up, Ben? But we did go to the store, and I'm going to try something to see if it works. Now, if this does not work, it is not the end of the world. But somebody claimed that this is possible, and it seems really unlikely. So the first thing I need to do is get paper towel. I'll be right back. Let me get, you always get stolen from here. I'll be right back. Okay. So I need something to test this on. Let's test it on this helicopter, which I have no plans to use it for GASLANDS or anything like that. But anyways, so we went to Poundland. Went to Poundland, and I wanted to get. I saw a video where somebody had used. Come on. Yeah, we got a few things. You guys want to see what I picked up? Of course you do. We'll get to that. What is it? Oh, it's 2 bags. Oh, why did they give me 2 bags? I got 2 bags worth of stuff. Dry erase markers, okay? I've watched that, but I haven't watched the rules. I haven't watched his video. I saw that it came out, but I haven't seen it. Does he playing it correctly? He's probably explaining the second version, and I don't know that I'm convinced that the second version is that I'm going to like it better. Okay, so apparently with dry erase markers, now it may not work with these because these are all cheapos. It says chisel tip. Chisel tip will work. Supposedly you can take a dry erase marker, go over some of the graphics, and then wipe them off. With a paper towel. And it looks like it works. That's freaking crazy. That's crazy talk. Because there might be some of these vehicles that maybe I like all the graphics except something on it, you know? What's up, Zahoffman? So it looks like some of it's coming off. I don't know. I know you could definitely probably use it with mineral spirits, and that might still be my preferred way to do it, is to remove some of it. But I figured, okay, well, let's give this a shot and see if it works. I'm not sure if I'm super convinced that this is the way to move on it. It kind of works. I bet mineral spirits would clean all that up. Okay. You guys want to see what I picked up? I mean, you may not want to. I'm prepared to return all of it. I just, I actually went. What I wanted to get is I wanted to get. They make these 3-packs I talked about earlier of cheap cars, of really really cheap crap cars that I wanted to crush with a mallet, and that's what gets spit out of white trash. Okay, I need 3 of them. To spit them out of here. So yeah, if I need to mess with the graphics, I'll just I'll take mineral spirits or just strip the whole damn thing, which isn't a big deal. So okay, so yeah, we went to the store to pick up those wrecks and see what else they had, and I ended up getting way too much stuff. But I spent like $20. It's not like it's a shitload of money or anything. All right, so from the Poundland, the dollar store. I got this specifically, and I'm not going to start opening these things up. They're just going to be, we're just going to keep them in reserve if we need them. So we have a steamroller here. These are all, $1.18 or something like that. A steamroller here, which the steamroller itself is probably the most useful part of it. Hey, get up to gear 2, yay, or something like that. But it is a steamroller from Matchbox. A pickup truck. It's like something somebody like an Uncle Jesse type character would be driving. That guy that pulls out in front of you in a 45-mile-an-hour zone and goes 27. That guy. We have a couple of those that live around here. Hey, you don't need to go 50. Just go the speed limit. Baja Little Beetle with big ass tires. Speaking of big ass tires, here's another one. Look at the front of this thing. Got a pretty cool front. Let's kill that. Pretty neat looking. This is a cool car. Buick Riviera. I don't know who the hell it's for. Like I said, I'm keeping the receipt. I may end up returning them. But they had a really good selection. Really good. So, and this, I picked this up because I actually have the neon version of this car, and I'm probably going to return it. And I'm going to keep this one. This is the BMW that I'm going to use, the 2000. I didn't pull the other one out of the packaging. So I'm probably going to keep this one and return the other one. Because that one's like $4 or something like that. It's got neon paint, which I don't want anyways. This blue is just fine. All right, what else did we get at the Poundlandia? An Asian van. Got the steering on the incorrect side. Yep, it's got it on the British side. This is a key swap. This angry yet adorable 90s KEI style van has been transformed from a utilitarian transporter into a gnarly drift rocket. With a massive swapped engine in the rear, this tiny wonder has no problem kicking the back end and getting sideways on the track. Yep, there's the engine here on the back. This was kind of hard to come by, so I figured I'd pick this up for the Italians one. Some more for the Pastafarians. Noodle wagon, there you go. The Pastafarians. What else did we get? Oh, this is great. That's I got something here. It's actually a pretty good priority. This is for the Germans. They get a van too. It's like a modern Vanagon or something like that, but it's got actually some air. See if you can see. It's got like a vent here, and the back it like vents through. It's like a turbine or something like that, but there's no engine there. It's interesting. Some kind of a Volkswagen microbus. All right, this is for my gangbangers. This thing is actually called Ain't Fair, and it is a lowered bus. Okay, so this thing. So there's something that is 4 build slots. I'm sorry, 3 build slots. And that is a wall of amplifiers. So literally you go by and it creates a bunch of hazards. There's 8 guys that could be in here. So you got like 8 pistols that go around shooting everybody like, bah, 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 and just the boom, 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 that kind of shit. Other than painting the details, the side of this thing is awesome. This thing is freaking awesome looking. So, the clan of people with the big rims. And that's all we got from Poundland. Okay? Did we miss something? Oh, we did miss something. I didn't really want this, but this thing's probably incredibly hard to find. This is a Koenigsegg. This is probably an impossible thing to find because, all the kids are buying it. I'm going to get the car at 600 miles an hour, whatever, however fast they are. $3 million to buy one of these things kind of things. Whatever. I don't know what I'm going to use it for. Like I said, I'm prepared to return it. Now, let me put all this stuff together so I don't end up mixing this stuff with the others. But this thing's freaking awesome. This thing's freaking awesome. And it's obviously not in the right scale, but it'll just have to do. I can just hear it now. Man, that's bullshit. I ain't taking no public transportation. Yeah, there you go. You get angry and start shooting people out of it. Okay. Like I said, we should have a game on Tuesday. I may even be tempted to film it, honestly. Because it'll look good. Everything will be painted. We'll have decent terrain. The German jet van needs an absurdly long one-word name nobody ever uses. Okay, you got it. Sounds like that sounds like a great idea. You're on board, man. You understand the mission, Ben. You understand the mission. That's exactly what we're looking for. Which, of course, means one of the other German cars has to have a tiny name. Okay? And the German car with a tiny name will be this guy. The TT. This is a car that I used to love to drive in Midtown Madness. So, this is probably a really fun car to drive in real life. But, I don't want a $70,000 car. So we got the TT. We have, I don't know if I'm going to keep this one. I'm kind of on the fence. It's a MR2, a Toyota MR2, little rice rocket. So it's not even much of a rocket. This we're not building anytime soon, but for our World War II stuff, look at this. I've never seen anything like this. A 34 Chevy Master Coupe. Look at that. That's perfect for, freaking the Japanese. Honestly, this looks like some Japanese staff car. What else we got in here? 2 more, that's it. Yeah, this is another one of those Rim Brigade cars. Will there also be an Absurdistani or Mendingular car making an appearance? Maybe Absurdistani, but far on down. We don't want to start getting striked by somebody. If you don't film it, something cool will happen. Well, something cool always happens. Have I filmed a dull game? Maybe one. That Old Testament one was insane. I can't make that stuff up. Yeah, I'm going to paint one door a different color. And I don't know who the heck this is. This is almost like the Japanese guys. This has got Asian written all over it. Now, it is a make-believe vehicle, right? Hyper Talon, 4x4, that's what it's called. It looks like a make-believe vehicle. But there's things that definitely look Japanese to me. Including, if you look at the front here, It almost looks like an exhaust. It looks like a double machine gun on the front here. So you don't even have to put a double machine gun on there. I've never seen that kind of a car. That's totally a Shanghai car. Absolutely. I don't know how they exported Fords as opposed to Chevys. Fords seem to be everywhere. Or people built them under license. They're all over the world, you know? And I don't like Model A's. They look like shit, honestly. They look a little too, crappy. So this is definitely one of these rally things. It's got, we got rally lights on it and stuff like. Yeah, look at the back of this. This totally looks like something Japanese. So that's what we picked up today. Really had no intention. I wanted to get like the wreck cars for wrecks, but honestly, I've got so many real cars. We might just wreck some of these. Maybe not these, but some of the other ones that are neither here nor there. We'll see. We will see. All right. It's entertaining as shit looking through the cars. It's entertaining as shit. Okay, so we've got these four that are good to go on Tuesday, and soon to be a fifth. Will this one be done in time? I don't know. I don't care. It's not really a priority. But we did kind of color match this as best we could, and it looks pretty good to me. It looks pretty good to me. So what I need to do is I need to paint the grille and the bumper on the back, and the grille and the bumper on the front, and do some black lining on the actual car itself. So, since I love to do that so much, and I'm not being facetious, I really do. I believe, is the wash up here? Or did we put it here? Strong? No, it's not strong tone, it's dark tone. Mid brown, soft, strong. No, that's rough iron. That's something different. That's actual metallic. Well, I'll leave that out. We're going to be needing that in a second. Where does she go? Right here. Hold the horses. Somebody makes a die-cast Bond bug. What bug did they use in a Bond movie? When I found out that they have wall of amplifiers, there's these cars, they're not in production right now, but if you look at, if you go Hot Wheels, car with speakers. Okay, this is like awesome, okay? Look at this. The whole back is a bunch of speakers. So that's great. The problem is it's 3 build slots. So it won't work on a truck. So I can't use it. I've got to do it on a bus. And they make several vehicles actually that have lots of speakers. Here's another one. It's like a truck that also has a wang on it. Got a wang on the back, and it's got a bunch of speakers back there. And that's literally an attack, And basically what it does is you get anybody within range, you get to decide whether they gain a hazard or have a hazard removed. So basically the vehicle that's booming, doing the booming, has hazards taken away from it, and it gives them to everybody else that's, the enemy. Or, if the same group of guys, if it's running with a pack of guys, it can run in the middle of the pack and start taking hazards away from them. So it's kind of like it's a healer, I guess. Bond bug, die-cast Bond bug. Die-cast Bond bug. Oh boy. That's one of them 3-wheeler thing. Oh no, is that in one of the movies? I don't remember. Only car that's weird like that I remember in the movies is that Citroen, that yellow Citroen that in Whatever the 81 film is called. For Your Eyes Only. The one with the Mind the Gap poster. Yep. I remember that from being a kid. I'm like, oh, she's pretty. All right. We're going to need to fit this underneath here, and this is too stinking wide. So let's cut this down first. I tried cutting this with a what do you call it? X-Acto knife, and it didn't budge very well. So we're going to cut this down, and we should be able to just snap this. We'll get an idea how strong this stuff is. Strong enough, that's for sure. But I was really proud of myself this morning that I finally grew a pair and put these cars together. And I was really happy that these all four are compatible with each other. That's pretty neat. That's pretty neat. So 27 is the magic number. As a matter of fact, we may actually put a number 27 on this thing. Okay. So we just need to glue this when we're done putting this thing together. Oh, the whole front of this got mangled. This is one that must have been a fight taking it apart. So it's going to end up having the cow catcher on here like that. All right, well, we're going to definitely paint the grill on the front and the back on that one and do the black lining on here. So let's go ahead and drop and do the black lining first. See if we can pull this off with the super readers. I really don't want to take the contacts off. All right, let's get a brush we have confidence in. Say this one right here. And a little bit of water. I'm going to try to not thin this down. Well, as I thin it down. What a dumbass. I really should listen to myself. And it should make all these little details pop. Some people swear doing this stuff in enamel. I see no difference other than enamel's a pain to clean up. And I have to worry about if it's reacting with this other paint. Well, you just put a clear coat on it. I said, okay, well, how about I just use acrylic? I don't have a problem with that. So, like I said, I was looking forward to. I miss actually filming games. I just needed to play games that are filmable. You know. And the DBA turnout got even worse. I don't think they had more in a tournament game than maybe 4 players. But honestly, I didn't go see. But there's just not a whole lot of interest in it. Only game that had a lot of players was Bolt Action. I don't even know if they had a Flames of War game. Flames of War tournament. But I really like this business of going for one day, spending the night, coming back the next day, and I got most of Saturday at home and Sunday. So this has some windshield wipers that we'll end up painting, even though it probably won't have a windshield. Hey, they didn't take everything off, you know? Maybe it'll reflect a bullet or something, I don't know. Yeah, that little Bond bug looks like some vehicle like a meter maid would drive. You know? You know, it's like somebody who normally would ride a moped, but they have a really bad balance. So they give them one of those. And this is definitely going to have rust on it and things like that. Things of that nature. But at any of these stores, you're only gonna have access to the die-cast cars that came out in 2025 because they're not going to keep old inventory. So if there's something you like from 2 years ago, you're not going to find it in a store, in a traditional store. You're going to have to go to some collector, buy it online or something like that. And the collector, of course, you know, he's probably going to try to sell every Matchbox car for $7 or $8 or something like that. I'm always disappointed wargamers aren't more in eccentric vehicles. Then again, DBA Army might be tip over a three-wheeler if positioned incorrectly on the seat. That's true. Does it have a trunk in the front? Is it front-engined or... It's got to be a rear-engine vehicle. It's like some car concocted by some, you know, British inventor. It's like a droid. Something like that. What do we got here on the front? We got a ridge there. I think this is the first time somebody still asked me for when I was going to play DVA again. They just don't get it. They're used to people that say they're going to do one thing and do something different. And I don't wish any of the people that play DVA anything bad. I just, I need my freedom. I like my freedom that I have. Like, well, you should just take your armies and make your own rule set. I said, well, I'm not retired. You know? That's too big an ask right now. Stop being such a big ask. This guy's such an ask. Okay, that is pretty much done in that area. In that color. That's a big ass, that's right. It's neither front nor back engine. Oh, shit. The engine is in the console separating the two front seats. What a bad fucking idea. I'm just like, hey, it's a car, you don't need seat warmers because you have to strap on the engine. It has a strap-on engine. That's something different. Wow. All right. Dodge Coronet Super B. That's a good thing about this being a real vehicle. I can pull up how it's painted. Dodge Coronet Super B back. All right, so this is what the back of it looks. Actually, this doesn't look that cool. The actual car itself looks pretty freaking cool. I am not an American muscle car fan, okay? But some cars look cooler than others. I mean, it's a pretty badass looking car. I'm all about handling. And these cars handle like a freaking truck that's ice skating. So, like, that's not satisfying, you know? It's not satisfying to, oh, well, you can drift. I said, man, if you're drifting, you're taking the turn too fast. That's Tony's rules. I'm not into that shit, I'm not into that stuff. So, the back of this thing, wherever it is, it's connected to this? Okay. The back of this thing it's a cool looking car because it's meaty, yet it's slender at the same time. All right, let's go ahead and where are my Silverado colors? Here they are. All right, let's go with the darkest one first. Iron Warriors. Nothing? Okay. Well, the bumper is all going to be painted in this color. Yeah, and it's like, it's not that, the big problem with sticking with DBA and people not showing up is, it basically keeps me, like, okay, well, I showed up to play this, and now I can't leave in case somebody shows up kind of situation. And it's like, I'm being held hostage by people that don't show up. It'd be different if everybody called. It's like, hey, we're not going to make it. We're going to have a turnout of like, 3 people. I'm like, okay, well, I'll do something else, right? But not knowing until it's too late to do something else, yeah, it's not cool, All right, this has some black in it. I'm going to go ahead and paint. Is this it? No, it's here. Should I put California license plates on it? No, I'm kidding. Not getting into that. The cops are going to come out and give them a ticket. Well, they'll have to blow me out of the water first. back. Yeah, when I used to go to the car meeting, they have some old cars, from the 70s and stuff that look really cool. But, they're not safe in an accident and they handle like shit. As a general rule, you know. I mean, they're, a tank, but, you can't get away from, you can't get away from problems. My car with bald tires probably handles better. All right, so we got that initial color. Let's go up one. We're going to get the mithril silver eventually. Yeah, drift. I don't get drifting. First of all, tires are expensive, and it's not very satisfying, losing control or being on the cusp of losing control. There's some driving game that I was playing. I forget what it was. Maybe it was one of the Forza Horizons or something like that. And one of the things you needed to do with your driver is, do this much drifting and sliding and squealing. And I'm like, man, I can't drive that way. Okay. This is literally the best thing you could do to make the car look better. Is paint the headlights and tail lights, the bumper. Yeah, don't you love it when somebody's like retired is asking you to do a bunch of shit? Like, you fucking do it. You don't have anything to do. Good old mithril silver. Still the original one. Nope. Still not dead yet. This is the first one I took apart and literally was a problem child doing that. So the bottom of it is all mangled and stuff. The only person who's going to notice that's going to be Marcus, though. He's over there looking at the underside of things. Okay. Now, I believe all these lights on the front are going to be the white variety. I don't think there's any yellow stuff. Yep. They're going to be the No. A little bit white. Bit of black. I think I might be able to pull this off with this brush. We'll see. A little bit more. Okay, that looks pretty good. Now I've got to do the tail lights that are attached to this. Pour you under this in here. Hate that about these craft paints. I really don't want to transfer white paint on something else that I don't want it on. I think I did all the mithril silver. I could be wrong, but I believe I did that. I'm actually not going to paint the rims on this one. I'm just going to weather them. I feel like they ought to be dark. There's some dark colors on the yellow, and I think it'll probably look pretty good. I think it'll look pretty darn good. And then this, of course, will be on the front. And the turtle will be here at the top. Okay, rear lights on this thing. Okay, it looks like it's got 3 banks of lights. It does. And the whites are on the inside, and the other 2s are red. The other 2 are red. Okay. You guys don't have a bank holiday tomorrow, do you? Okay, and the other ones are red. Not for us. What is it? Is it Columbus Day? We celebrating that again? Nope. It's just a September 29th. No, but I booked in Monday through Wednesday, so I'll be having some nice autumn walks with a hound. Autumn, that's just more summer for me. Wasn't that hot today? I mean, it was hot, but I don't know. I wear these shirts for work now, and they're fucking magic because they're long sleeve, but I'm not as hot as wearing the short sleeves. It is the damnedest thing. It doesn't make any sense, but it's true. It's crazy. I was outside. I went outside the other day to do inventory, and I was out for 30 minutes in 100+ degree weather, feels like. And I wasn't sweating. It was like, I felt like I'd opened an oven. I mean, it was hot, but it wasn't like, I don't know, just, I guess they breathe. It was freaking amazing, so that's why you're like, why the hell are you wearing long sleeves? Dude, it's something magic. I don't know. I got some short sleeve synthetic type shirts, collared shirts I used to wear for work. They'd kill me. I mean, I'd be like sweating constantly. So, breathable fabric. It's like 100% cotton or almost or something. I don't know. Well, they're worth every penny. They're not $10 shirts, that's for sure. But there we go. That's kind of like the backlight of this thing looks like. Yeah. The problem with filming this game is trying to find a place for the camera. Try to find a place for the camera to go that's not gonna get like in the wrong place or something like that. Well, I didn't say that correctly, but just trying to find somewhere that will work. I'd like for there to be a little bit of a gap between this big old ram. Yeah, that's not working worth a damn. And the front of this car, because this car has a nice front to it. It's a good looking car. Yeah. Let's hide an uglier car, Let's see if this gets us where we need to go. And of course, these other parts I painted have not been sprayed. So they look glossy, but yet the car looks flat. Yeah, something like that. Something like this. Now, is it still out here? It is. It is missing all kinds of stuff. So I think I'm going to actually stick this thing on with hot glue. However, I need to figure out how much of this inside I want to paint. So let's see what Been watching a lot of diecast racing. It's really fun, and that 3D Bot Maker has a very good channel. It's the best thing on the internet. It's incredible. And I mean, I've edited videos, but he does something that's related to video related, so it's a lot easier for him. It'd be like a lot more difficult for him to paint shit than it would be me. His stuff is amazing. I particularly like the Demolition Derby ones. It's an amazing channel. It's really an amazing channel. And he doesn't need me telling him anybody, because he's got millions of subscribers, and he should. That takes a long ass time doing that. Dodge, Coronet, Super B, interior. What color is it? I want to paint the same color it originally is. I know it's going to vary. Black. Yeah, these big American muscle car steering wheels, man. It's like a freaking boat steering wheel. It's like, this wide, but it's only about that narrow. So you're almost like, you turn it this much and the car doesn't even move, Got that much slop in it. Let's do this. Let's come in here and give this a dry brush. And then we're going to come in here and put mesh on the windows, because I hate to paint the inside really nice and then you put mesh on it and you can't see anything. Okay, this is aluminum charcoal. This is charcoal aluminum mesh. So we're probably going to dull the hell out of our X-Acto knife with this thing. Now, I've tried watching some other diecast racing channels, and the other ones I've clicked on, let's see, how can I put this? They suck compared to 3D Bot Maker's channel. I mean, it's like King of the Mountain, yeah. Yeah, it's, and supposedly the word on the street is he's one guy doing both voices. Now, I particularly like, and I think this is by design, 2D is a lot more funnier than 3D. I mean, there's some funny shit on there. It's really, really fun. And everybody I've showed it to, they're not really impressed by it, except Scott. Scott, that used to game with us, he really liked it. Everybody else is just kind of like, what's the big deal? I said, the big deal is, it's cool as hell, it's a shitload of work, and he does a really good job of it with multiple cameras. I like anything that involves like the big air stuff. The big air stuff is great. Now, I wish him well. And like I said, I would have considered reaching out to him if he was in Florida instead of California and say, hey, maybe I can paint some stuff for you, I don't know, maybe he's a communist and I wouldn't want to meet him. But no, he seems like it's a nice guy, He does a hell of a job. A hell of a job. So. Well, he's in California, so he could be a communist. Oh, man. The land of fruits and nuts. Now, there's some normal people in California. I don't know how they stand living out there. Just like there's probably some people in Texas that don't wear boots. Never seen them. But... And by boots, I mean cowboy-style boots. This comedy do of a straight man and funny man. If that's both him, that's pretty good. Yeah, it's heavily edited. I mean, they don't miss a beat. They don't miss a beat. And it might be one of those things like, usually when I see like a video or something that I like and I make a comment on it, I usually write the very first thing that comes to mind. So yeah, it might be edited or whatever, but if you still go with like the first thing that comes to mind when you do it, it's... Yeah, no, it's really well done. It's really, really well done. Nothing ever comes close. And if you see something that's close to that, let me know, because I want to see that. But and I hadn't watched it in a long time, and it's just I hadn't made time to watch it, But it is it's stellar. I showed it to one friend, and he didn't seem to like it. How do you not like that? My wife can't stand it because she doesn't like anything being announced. Well, I don't watch sports or anything like that. You know, I'm not I don't like stuff being announced either. I had a guy that I used to work with, and he'd watch when the Gator game was on. He'd put it on TV, but he'd put the volume off the TV and put the Gator radio station on. So you would get the commentary from a radio, but the picture from a TV. And I'm like, the problem with the radio commentator is it's basically like the Gator Nation. So you know you've got basically somebody who is not an impartial witness. Which you know I guess if you're a big fan of one team, you like that. But you know I don't like things that are skewed. Look at this. All we have is just a gray dry brush, a dark gray dry brush. It looks freaking great. This looks freaking great. I actually considered, sending, because there's some of the races that people send in things, because I could get pretty creative with the freaking names of them. Sometimes the people send in things and they're not very creative with the names of the drivers and cars and stuff like that. But I don't really want to like paint and do all this customized stuff and then pay to ship it over to them, and then hopefully it doesn't get dinged up. I'm like, he's already doing a good thing. He doesn't really need me, you know. I mean, he's on on the right track. He don't need me. MXC commentary. MXC. Who's MXC? Yeah, Mitch probably likes it, but Mitch likes everything. Mitch will laugh at anything. You know, it's kind of disturbing. You know, but Mitch is really a happy-go-lucky guy. So, but Scott really, I'm really impressed. You know, I'm like, really? It's one guy doing all of it? I mean, I wouldn't want to do it. I mean, I could do it, but it'd be more fun to doing it with somebody, you know? All right, so we're going to take this and we're going to attach it to the roof section. So the first thing I'm going to do is, let's do this the easy way. That means just put the whole section in there instead of trying to cut it into bits. Let's put the whole section and see what it looks like. Obviously, we're going to have to cut it down later, but okay. And what you got is you're going to have this. It's going to look like a baseball. It's going to be curved like that. All right. So we don't want that. So let's take. And I hate saying it, but I think hot glue gun is the way to do it. I mean, I just like the idea that bam, it's glued. All right, ¿dónde están las tijeras? Let's do that. I think tijeras is the way to do this. Scissors. Skizzers. All right, what kind of height do we need here? Let's go 1, 2. Let's go like 5 high. Let's go like this and see where this takes us. Well, this cuts real easy. Okay. And it's not nylon, it's actually aluminum. So, can I get a piece and wrap it all the way around this? Let's fire up the hot glue gun. I'm probably not going to be able to use this tip. I'm probably going to have to put it on a toothpick or something like that, but I'll get immediate satisfaction with this. Did you watch MXC? No. It was a Japanese game show where people have to go through obstacle course with hazards, but when it came to America, they dubbed it with lots of potty humor. No, I didn't see it. Oh, so it's like Wipeout. It's like Wipeout. Yeah. Those shoes, I mean, those shows really, it just seems to me like the whole purpose of having those shows is, I mean, there's all kinds of people, but I think the background between all those shows is, having attractive people do self-deprecating things and come out looking a mess. I mean, I think that's what the whole purpose of the thing is, Sometimes the Wipeout stuff was really funny, MXC. Yeah. No, I've not seen it. But it sounds like it's like a Japanese wipeout. Let's cut more of the same height. We'll just split this in half. I had not used this before. This is literally the... This is the guinea pig. All right, I'm going to cut about that much off. I remember back in the day, there were lots of people that liked the Mystery Science Theater, and I tried watching it a couple times, and the first thing that came to mind is I could do a better job than some of those things. There's a lot of missed opportunity. You know, like what was that movie, that Team America World Police? Like, come on, they didn't do any of the stuff that I would have done. Like, there's some missed opportunities there. There's some seriously missed opportunities. All right. Let's see if we can do this. Now, I'm going to go ahead and put this on the cardboard because the cardboard's not going to melt. And we'll put it out of here a harm's way. And get one of these things here. We'll put some of this here, and then by the time we do the last one, we'll be a lot better at this. This is going to be the first iteration of doing this, so we're going to work it in here and attach on the bottom and see what it looks like. It looks good. It looks really good. All right. And then what we're going to do is we're going to put a hot glue gun line on top of the bottom here. And do the same thing here at the top. And this should hold it in place. As long as somebody doesn't try to stick their finger in through it, well, then I get to break it. All right, now there is a little bit of spider webbing on here. And that looks pretty darn good. That looks pretty darn good. Be right back. Is it worth watching? MXC? Sounds like something would be like, what was that show that was on for kids? Double Dare and stuff like that. Nickelodeon, the Nickelodeon messy shows. Well, it's kind of like what Wipeout kind of was. I don't even know if it's still on. It might actually still be on. One thing I noticed is the inside dimensions of these things are really, really tight. So if you have something like this where I've got hot glue gun in here and pushing that down, and it's popping up a little bit, and if I have the same thing here, you're going to have a hard time getting this to fit exactly where it's supposed to be. You can squish it down, but where's the tweezers? We're definitely going to need the tweezers because we got a little bit of... Oh, the tweezers that always fall down. Only one pair of tweezers that are worth a damn. All the other ones are garbage. Are they over here? Maybe they're over here. That's why I can't find them over there. We're going to have to give up looking for them? Jesus, I'm so friggin' organized compared to everybody else. They just don't do things live, so you don't find out about the litany of mistakes that they make. Yeah, the really thin tweezers are not... They're not where they're supposed to be, and I used them recently. Seeing if they fell down in the container. Them? No, these are shitty. Well, here they are. They're off to the side. Yeah, I only have one pair of these. I need to probably get some Tamiya ones next model show I go to. And it won't be as good as this, but at least it could be the backup one. Now, does this close up a little bit better now? A little bit. All right, we got the front. We got the front. How close is it on the front? Very. All right. Okay, so that's not gonna. That may not work. Like I said, this is my first time doing this with this particular material. There may be a better way to do this than what I've come up with. Now, I'm actually fine attaching it on the outside. Just got to be more precise with it. And we won't be able to use hot glue gun with it, that's for sure. I actually think the nylon one actually might be better. How weird. But might stay in shape a little easier. Trim it down. Trim 2 squares off the top. Trim the ends off of this one. Let's see what we're looking like. That doesn't look too bad. even if it's on the outside, you know, there's basically demolition derby cars. I don't think I'm going to put a driver inside these. So let's do this. Let's put that down and then splooge it in. Now the sides, this is going to be for the front. If I do the sides, I bet the sides I can do in the traditional manner that I was doing. So we'll just cut something at an angle. Cut the end of these off. Yeah, I think nylon might actually be better. Because what's happening is these are almost like de-welding as I'm handling them. See, I'm able to pull one off. Yeah, I don't think that's very useful. So we're going to come over here and do something like this. That is the right shape. We just need to take like 2 of them off the bottom. I mean, that's what the premise is on shows like, you know, Survivor and stuff like that. It's almost like, hey, let's get this, you know, pretty girls do like, you know, self-deprecating shit. You know, like, hey, go stick your, you know, your head and you got to go bob for apples in a, you know, a vat of dog shit or something like that. And, you know, people get off on things like that. And like, I mean, not everything's like that, but a lot of the stuff is. All right, this looks pretty fucking awesome with the net on it. It looks pretty fucking awesome with it. Let's go do the other side, and then we'll do the front one from the outside. And we buy more of this stuff. We probably won't buy the aluminum kind. Yeah, I'm going to leave a little gap at the front and a little gap at the back. You know, it's just to catch the guy, you know, when you go flying out, you know, you'll get caught by that net. And you don't end up being a projectile. You could just be bouncing around the cabin. All right, so we're just going to set this like this. Come over here. Put 2 little glue dots. One there. One there. And it should be enough to hold it in place. What's up, Victor? Now, well, that didn't work. There's not a lot of play in how much space you have between the plastic parts in here and the actual window. They are pretty darn tight. It is a pretty darn tight configuration. Let's start taking a little bit of that hot glue off, which isn't hot anymore. You know, the thing is that if this doesn't work, it's a lot easier to make it work than with super glue. The super glue would make a mess. This doesn't really make a mess. You can remove it. It doesn't harm the paint really. Yep, this one came off. Let's put one little glue dot on it. And smush it around. Like easier to use epoxy. Except the glue's even faster. Okay. Let's get rid of that spider web. Now, if this doesn't work, I may have to trim part of this cabin to get it to work in there. It fits there okay, but it pushed all the glue up this way. So maybe this method doesn't work so well. You know, but again, I just removed it. It's not a big deal. All right, let's try doing this a little differently. Yeah, see, it falls apart. It just completely falls apart because it's almost like it de-welds it. I think nylon might actually work better. Well, this is what we have, so this is what we're going to use. If I run out of it, well, when we buy more, we won't use this one. All right, let's do this. Let's cut that high. And like so. And like so. Let's do one dot. One dot in the middle. Now I'm going to take that dot. I'm going to spread it as thin as I can. Okay, not very thick at all. Just something to kind of hold it in place. Does it look good from the outside? Yes. Yes, it does. Okay, now let's see if it fits. Man, the tolerances on this thing is so tight. You know, it's not really working. It's not really working. All right, is there anything else I can do? Well, I could cut some of this down. Let's try that. Let's cut that down to that level. Let's cut this down to that level. All right, let's see if that makes a difference. Okay. Much better. Much better. You know, this is a learning experience. I've not done this with the net on any vehicles. I can tell you that the super glue is going to work worse because it's so unforgiving. Plus, these are relatively slick surfaces. Super glue, regardless of whether it's gap filling or not, it doesn't like these smooth surfaces. All right, let's see if we got this now. Yep. Yep. All right, good. We're golden. We're golden now. All right. With two sides, we just have one to put at the front. And I think we decided we were going to do that after the fact from the outside. I believe it was this one here. All right, let's give it one more shot. And let's try this. It's super thin. Now, if this works, I'll have to do it again with a larger piece. And I think that'll actually work. Okay. All right, cool. All right, good. Good. All right, let's take this out. Yeah, see, I don't care if this takes a while. I don't have a time period when I have to have this done by. And, you know, I'm making progress. I'm making forward progress. If I wasn't making forward progress, yeah, this would be intolerable. For me, anyways. All right, we'll leave this height as it is. We're just going to taper these corners. I'm going to take this one and come over about like that. And take this one and come over like that. little bit off one of these sides. Okay, and it doesn't have to be exactly straight. I've seen all these nets are all like, you know, like they've caught a baseball once or twice. And in this case, a baseball would be a flying human. Just to keep you from flying out of here. Some of you guys would be like, man, I don't want to do this. This is too, like, finicky. It is. And I may not do it again, but I'm already this far along. Yeah, I'm actually fine with it looking beat up a little bit. Okay, so if it fits, I'm actually okay with how this looks. It looks like a batting cage has been abused, which is not too far away from the truth. We're good there. We're good there. We're good there. There's a little bit of glue showing up here. Let's see if we can deal with that. Doesn't look great, but it doesn't look terrible. Make sure we can put this centered on the front. I think this tab's a little too long. That's better. It's warm, but it's not too hot. I'm surprised I haven't burnt myself yet. Messing with this as much as I have. Yeah, this glue that's on the side is just kind of unfortunate. The front looks good, the back looks good, the sides have a little bit showing. How about if I just remove it? Just remove it off the sides. And just remove this off the sides. Now what are we looking like? Oh, I see what's going on here. Okay. So, all right, why don't we remove as much of that as we can. It's a learning exercise. I know this isn't half as frustrating as super glue would be for me. Then if you super glue it doesn't turn out how you want to, you got to scrape the whole area because super glue won't stick to itself and yada yada yada. Yeah, you're right. You're right. And that's easy to avoid. Don't touch that part. Okay, this back still looks good. All right, so here's what we're going to do. Better, but still. Now, I just had no idea the tolerances on that were that tight. I don't want to cut any more off because then it becomes visible. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to glue that in place. Okay. And that's good. And then over here, that fits in there. And I'm going to glue that. And as crazy as this sounds, I'm going to hot glue the turret to it, to the top. Well, you know what? We don't have to do that now. We can just take a little piece of stickum and put it on there. Really, really small. And then we can do some rusty weathering and get it all to come together. Now, what's really throwing everything off is the fact that the parts that I painted yellow are shiny because they are not flat, because I didn't give it a flat coat because they weren't on them yet. All right, let's unplug this and pull out Tony's tones. All right, so the first thing we're going to do is, I believe I use this the standard weathering to weather these things. So let's get chocolate brown out here. This is just a flex on it. It looks like it's coming off, but it's just a flex that these pieces have. All right, middle color is the nope, not beige brown. U.S. Field Drab. Let me go rinse some of these out. I got a bunch of crusty brushes. You and your crusty brushes. Yeah, the other vehicles that I painted them before I started doing my tanks. Right? I hadn't gotten into World War II stuff yet. And since then, I feel like I've come up with a pretty easy way to do stuff that doesn't take a lifetime. You can always spend more time doing things, but I don't want it to take a lifetime to do it because we have other things to build. And then, of course, Iraqi sand. Oh, do a better job mixing it there, Tony. And then we'll come in and do the Tony's tones. All right. Light tone. Light tone and mid brown are the ones that are going to be the most useful. Now, just a little bit to make the surface look not uniform. I mean, it's an American car from the 70s. This fucker's gonna rust. It's gonna rust like crazy. Now we'll put some of these rusty colors across the rivets here at the top. And likewise, these rivets that are here on this back side, which not really sure why they're there, but they are. is this rust? Is it corrosion? Is it both? The correct answer is yes. It's all of those things. And being able to keep the original paint job on it, well, first of all, this paint job is really nice that it came with it. There's no reason to not keep it. I mean, it works with it's got some nice striping on it. I really like it. There we go. Now, I can't really give this thing complete judgment until I've flat coated it, because there's that little bit of shine on all this it's distracting. It's running interference. Now, I kind of wanted to have the sides a little sealed up so you can't tell there's nobody in the turret, but I gave it a shot and it just started fighting me a little too much. And it's like, all right, well, let's just go with what we have, not with what we don't. The RAM looks freaking great. The RAM looks excellent. I mean, it looks like a freaking dumpster. It gives you the kind of like that. It looks kind of like a dumpster. That dumpster vibe. The only thing I kind of want to paint on it is a number. I kind of want to paint a number on it, on the door or something, but I don't think I will. I don't think I will. If I change my mind, I can always do that later. And honestly, it looks better than the other ones that I've done because none of these other ones have rust. This one has a little bit, but it's definitely less clean looking. Let me take a picture of it. You guys can see. Now, keep in mind, it hasn't been sealed, so there's, it's the front ram and the turret don't look as good as they could. Let's kill this. A little too much kickback. Yeah, it looks pretty good. Looks good enough for me. And I like the screen, although I had to fight with it a little bit too much. It's probably not that bad, but I didn't want to put the window on it. It's like, what do you have this bulletproof window for, kind of thing. Yeah, I like the turret. Unfortunately, it's a machine gun. It's a really big machine gun. But is it an HMG? I think it might be an HMG. So, be a 50 cal, whatever the hell will fit. Let me get my glasses so I can see. What I put it here. Brute 2. HMG in the turret. Yep. And we decided that's what it is. It's a turret at HMG. We decided to put a ram in the front to balance that thing out. So this one's only got one machine gun in it. But it's got a 360-degree mount. So, is that the only one that has a 360-degree mount? I think it is. So that's kind of an advantage of, yeah. Well, I mean, this mortar, these rockets have a 360, but this is the only MG that has a 360-degree mount. So, I wish the turret was a little bit smaller, but, yeah, it looks better than this thing. It does. As long as we're moving in the right direction, as long as the things I keep making keep looking better and better, should be pretty good. So we're gonna seal this, and yeah, that's super positive. That's super positive. So, like this vehicle, this is kind of a same thing. It's also going to be a car, but we're not going to put a turret on the top of it. I don't know what we're going to do, but it'll be something. It's different, different to it. But anyways, that's where we're going to stop for tonight, and we'll catch you guys later on in the week.